Oh, that's bright. Oh, no, 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 no. Okay. Oh, and that's the wrong camera too. Okay, cool. Starting off this live. Awesome. Hello. Let me just go ahead and adjust. Super unprofesh. Goodness. There we go. Hey. That's the nicer camera. All right. I didn't realize. Normally I cover up my laptop camera. Hey, Tana. What is up? Welcome. How was your week? Marielle. Hopefully you guys had a good Saturday. I had a very weird day. Hi, Mindy. So it was super dead at work today. Because our store is relocating, so there's only like 4 days left, and every day is just like really dead. And there's so many people there. Hi, Felix. So I left early because there was nothing to do. And there's only one way out of my work, and I have to go around this giant mall that we're nearby. Just telling a fun little story time as everybody comes in. So you have no choice but to like turn right to this mall unless you want to try and make a U-turn into traffic, and it's a whole thing. I usually don't try and make that U-turn into traffic because it's backed up, especially on the weekend, but it was especially backed up today. And I was thinking, well, maybe it's just because school starts this week, so everyone's getting their last minute shopping in. I was incorrect. Turns out there was a shooting at the mall, and it took me an hour just to get around the mall and get to the next exit because the police were evacuating the mall, and there was like no, I'm just complaining. There was no organization trying to get anybody out of the mall, so I was literally just like stuck in my car in traffic. Like it took me an hour. It's a drive around the mall that should take me like 90 seconds. I listened to a whole hell of a lot of an audiobook though, while I was just basically sitting there. It was a mess. It was an absolute mess. I haven't checked the news update. I was checking it on my phone because I was just sitting there and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Because this is not normal, like busy time traffic. The last update I saw was that like a woman accidentally fired a gun. That's the last update I saw. So I don't know if it was like we have permitless concealed carry now, unfortunately, in Florida. So I don't know if she just had it and it went off. As far as I could see, nobody was hurt, I think. It was more like a panic situation, obviously, but yeah. So that was my day. That was my day. Yeah. As far as I could tell from the updates, there's been no updates since I was literally sitting around the mall. So I'm taking that as like good news that nobody was hurt. Um, so I don't know. I don't know, but oh my God. Oh my God. So that was my Saturday. I can tell you what, I'm very happy about our relocation now, and I won't have to, like, I won't be forced to drive around that mall anymore during the holidays or any other time. So, hopefully everyone else had a good Saturday. Oh, goodness. I will say, I guess I'm glad I left work when I did, because if it was still that crowded when I had left, when I was scheduled, I would have gotten home super late and then I would have been cranky. So, well, so that was a fun way to start this off. Do we want to play a game? Sorry, I just wanted to vent for a second because I was very annoyed. I'm glad nobody was hurt, but I was very annoyed at how unorganized it was to get everybody out. Like, I was just sitting there like, well, I'm really glad the shooter isn't out in the parking lot because there's a ton of people just sitting here in their cars. Because there's no organization to try and get anyone out. They didn't block off the mall to stop people from coming in. It was a mess. It was, and by they, I mean the police. It was a whole mess. All right, let's play a trivia game really quick. Yeah, just Florida things. Just Florida things. Okay, so let me get my quiz here. I do just have some horror book trivia, not book vocabulary or anything I think too tricky. So great. Yep. We're about to talk about all the problems in the world, so I figured I'd just add on that little bit. Yeah. Let's play some trivia really quick. Just some super quick trivia so we can add to our scoreboard, which is starting to pick up. Mariel is in the lead. All right. All right. So these are just general questions. Hopefully, it's hard with horror books. I try to go with the classics, but what was Stephen King's first published book? Does anybody know? What was his first published book? I'm already ready with my pen. And I don't know if you noticed, but I gave myself a point in the corner of the scoreboard in case you guys oh, there's like little timestamps on this now. That's new. Okay, I guess technically you guys both came in at the same time. But Marielle, I'll give it to Marielle and Mindy because I'm feeling generous. My pen doesn't work. Great. Okay, come on. I just need to be able to generally kind of see what it is. You are correct. First published book is Carrie. Really quick, for a bonus point, does anybody know what the first book Stephen King wrote was? Not published, but wrote. It's a different answer. Does anybody know? Just as a little bonus. You don't get extra points. It's just 1 point. But see if anybody knows. The Bible, no. Pet Cemetery, no. Carrie was his first published book, Felix, not the first book you wrote. Salem's Lot, no. Although I did go off of the internet for this one, so. Anybody? I do have points now on the scoreboard. I gave myself a little section up in the corner there. If I stump you guys. Somebody's probably Googling. Oh, Mindy, yes, that's the answer I had, which I will give you a point for, The Long Walk. Was it under his name or a different one? I will give you a point if you stumped me on that one. What other name does he write under? I don't know. I didn't know he wrote under another name. So maybe point to Marielle if you just stumped me there. I don't know. That's the only King book you read. You're just like, that's the answer to everything. He has so many, it very well could have been. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh. I gotcha. Okay. Richard Bachman. Oh, I don't know if that was first. I'll give Marielle a point for that guy because that, I didn't know. My bad. I recognize that name now, but yeah, I didn't realize. Okay. That was just a little bonus. I have 2 more questions. Don't worry. This one might be a little bit easy, so get your fingers ready to type. What vampire story predates Dracula by 27 years in publication? It says that you got a point, Marielle. Don't worry. I believe you. I didn't even take that into consideration, another name. So you earn that point. You earn that stumping Vicky point. Which is not hard to do, but Wow, everybody came in on one time. Tana. Tana typed really fast. You were just typing so fast. It was like, but the funny thing is, like, when you look at the keyboard, I mean, the things you hit make sense. You were just typing really fast. I'm gonna give Tana a point for that because she made me laugh. But I saw like 4 of you at one time. So hold on, let me just. Been feeling very generous with the points lately. I'm just like, you can have a point. You can have a point. Sorry for the pen noises. This pen is not working. Okay. I saw you 4 pop in at one time. Okay. You did. It was funny though. Sorry. Sorry. I just thought it was funny. 10 points for everyone, basically. Okay, last one. This one might take you guys a second because I'm going to ask for a little bit longer of an answer. Name 3 works by Shirley Jackson that are not The Haunting of Hill House. It could be a short story, a book. You commented so early. I was expecting you to be first in here, but that's okay. You didn't miss anything. We're just playing our little warm-up trivia game. So we'll get talking about our book in a second here. We've always lived in the castle. There you go. That's an answer that you gave everybody else. So you can use Dez's answer, guys. I'm looking for 3 works by Shirley Jackson that are not The Haunting of Hill House. I hope whoever gets the answer first answers 3 things that I already know off the top of my head. Book trivia is hard. I don't know why it's more difficult than movie trivia. I don't know. Oh, all right. Marielle's got it. Very nice. The Lottery, We Have Always Lived in the Castle, and Life Among the Savages. Very nice. I'm tempted to give Mindy a point too because she popped in right after, and she also gave me 3. And she is also correct. Why not? Marielle and Mindy swept this one. All right, good job, gang. Now that we're all nice and warmed up, it's time. Let's talk about our July pick. A very beautiful book cover, by the way. I did give her a point. Don't worry, I gave her a point. I tried to match the background to the like colors going on in here because it's just so pretty. But we're talking about the Haunting of Alejandra, by V. Castro. Yeah, the cover is gorgeous. It's just one of those that's like I stare at it all the time, and it's like I want to face it out on my bookshelf because it's just a really pretty cover. So I tried to match the colors like marigolds and stuff. So I just tried to match the cover. Alejandra. Is that not? Sorry, I can't roll my R's today. Alejandra. A strong H like you're about to spit. Like Alejandra? Is that strong enough? I feel like you should direct audiobooks, Marielle, because I don't know that the narrator's H's were that strong. Not that I'm saying you're wrong, but I just feel like you should direct the audiobooks. Because I did listen to this one a little bit for sure. Okay, so already we're getting I loved the book and a lot of loved the covers. Since Des kind of already mentioned it, it was just funny you mentioned, before we talk about generational trauma again. I don't know if we want to get right into it. I feel like in doing this book club, we're discovering a very common thread among horror novels. I was going to say like contemporary horror novels, but I feel like there's a couple of older ones like backlist titles that we've read also that also deal with generational trauma. Maybe that's because lately we've been reading a lot of books from like BIPOC authors as well, and that might be that just might be like a theme that just finds its way into those stories possibly. I'm not sure. Or yeah, we might have a problem. We might just have a problem that too. So let me know, like, just go ahead and kick me off, like, what you guys think about it. Are we tired of this theme yet? Sometimes I don't realize that's what the book is going to be about when I look into it too. Sometimes it's just like an underlying theme that's going on, although this one is pretty heavy. That's kind of the whole point of this story, to be honest with you guys. This book had so many good ideas, but the writing fell flat. It dragged, and the writing was not the best. The dialogue, especially, was god awful. I don't know that I noticed particularly, honestly. Like, obviously, not discrediting your opinion. I don't know that I noticed. Interested in Vicky's opinion. Did it have a slow? I didn't think it was slow paced at all. I marked it as medium paced on Storygraph, but I was struggling choosing between like a medium and like fast pace, as I feel like this book, I don't know, for me it moved rather quickly. Maybe it's because I listened to it a lot. It was I made it my listen to and from work book this past month, so it's only about 250 pages, so it's not that long either. Generational, yeah, I don't blame you. We read a lot of generational trauma books in Creepy Book Club for sure. Then I will say this is probably one of the top books that we've read where it's like a main theme, like it's kind of the point. Although I liked it too. I liked I guess we can get into it too, the metaphor, maybe. I don't know if we want to call it that, or just the using like the tool of folklore to talk about generational trauma with La Llorona, which I thought was super interesting. I really liked the way that the book tackled that, because it wasn't like I was thinking it was going to be more straightforward, like it's an actual like it's an actual spirit of this woman, right? But it's actually like a much older demon. I don't know if we want to call it a demon, just this much older creature that decides to adopt this tale. That I think, like, at the end of the book, we kind of get the idea that this tale has already been told. Like, we get that story about that woman who tried to drown herself and her kids, and then the kids got saved. But then everybody in town started talking about the story, and they didn't know what happened to the kids, so they just assumed. And the creature was like, "Oh, I'm gonna adopt this persona because it's already in their brains." Love that they gave her own bit at the end. Yeah, it was kind of just I don't know. I felt like it was a nice little like wraparound, I guess. Just as like, this is where it all started, to kind of give context to the La Llorona story, because it features heavily in the book. I mean, Alejandra, sorry about the H, um, tells the story to her daughter, which I gotta say, that little girl asking for spooky stories at bedtime, kindred spirit. I loved it. Um, so it factors heavily, and that's who we assume is haunting her the whole time. But I really liked the way that we tackled that folklore. I like that it wasn't straightforward. That the whole villain the whole time wasn't the spirit of this woman, and it wasn't about um Alejandra not wanting to be a mother per se, or wanting to, kill her children like the legend says. I like that it wasn't that. Because I feel like who knows how many other stories could have taken that route, and then that's the story we're going to tell, and that's really dark and that's really sad. And that's, I don't know, I like the way the folklore was incorporated into the story. I really enjoyed that. Did it have a satisfying resolution in your opinion? I feel like it ended. I feel like it ended so quickly that that's almost a tricky question to answer. Um, I mean, I don't have any other ideas in my head of like how I would have preferred it to end, if that makes sense. So I feel like I'm fine with the way it ended. I guess in that sense. I'm gonna be honest, I don't even remember what. She like so remember goes she she goes with her mom, Kathy, to Texas or something like that. And she goes to try to like fake out the demon, so she tries to go unalive herself to tempt the demon to appear to her, and then she like this is gonna sound so weird to describe. Yeah, she like cuts herself open and then shoves the demon into her uterus with the help of her ancestors. I guess like take that. Well, she had an actual wound, so I don't know. I was gonna say like I guess you could take that metaphorically if you wanted to, but not really. Like she has the wounds to show what she did. But then um a little bit after that, like you think it's over and she's recovering, and then I don't want to say like miscarries it, but she kind of like she's like bleeding, and then like the demon kind of comes out and it's like, it's like unformed, and then she just like basically just like squashes it, and Marielle's just like, what the fuck? Yep, that's kind of what happens. So she brings it into her uterus and then doesn't like give birth to it. It's almost like she miscarries, like the way it's described. And then it comes out as like a tiny sniveling little demon thing that's not fully formed, and she just like crushes it in her hands. It's kind of wild. One thing that confused me is ending her absorbing the creature into her room and then spitting it out. Yeah. um yeah, I guess maybe it's like the power of her lineage almost, I guess. Um by absorbing it into herself. I don't know. I don't Yeah, it's hard. But I mean the creature's whole deal was that she followed this lineage all the way down. Like she followed this family tree per se all the way down and was going after children and the women uh in this family. So Still unpacking the metaphor, but I think it's a lens through which to show how similarly women were viewed across generations and how this impacted their self-worth. That makes sense. That makes sense. I felt like it was a little bit of like, maybe a little bit of like poetic justice as well, because this creature was feeding on these women and their children and their children's children and so on and so forth, that it was like poetic justice that the demon's end be within the womb of one of them. You know what I mean? Like that's how the demon is defeated, because that's how the demon caused so much pain as well. Yeah, it's a wild ending. Like it's the wild wild west out here in this book. I love how we jumped right into that crazy ending. Oh, thank you. Perfect recap. It was nuts. It was absolutely nuts. I think at least in terms of, I get what you're saying. Like it's about the generational trauma. I'm not sure what that's saying about the subject. I mean, I guess that I don't know, that now that I'm thinking about it though, that maybe that's maybe kind of just like a literal manifestation of generational trauma. Because the reason you have generations are, you know, women and feminine presenting people giving birth. You know, and creating a lineage for which there is generational trauma, if that makes sense. So like Alejandra literally births a demon. I guess maybe maybe it was supposed to be kind of like literal. I don't know. That's just me taking a stretch. I don't know about that. I don't know. I think at least in terms of all the books we've read on generational trauma, this is one of my favorites, I think. I like the way it handled it. There's a lot of flashback POVs as well. So it's not just straight from Alejandra's point of view also. We get Kathy's point of view, her mother, Kathy's mother as well, whose name is escaping me. Also like the very first woman in this line that that kind of made the deal with this demon essentially. Like it's kind of, I don't want to say it's all over the place, but it's like we get a little snippets here and there that kind of add to the story, I feel like. And you get to see the similarities in these women as well, which I think just feeds that generational trauma theme. So we're seeing how not only the demon has, the demon being representative for like so many things, how it affects their lives, and it ultimately affects them all the same. And that's generational trauma, I guess. You love the flashbacks? Okay. Yeah, I think they definitely added to the story. I think without them, this probably could have been a novella, maybe. So I think it added to the story for me. I don't know. I really don't know how much else or what else could have happened, I guess, necessarily without the flashback. So I think they really added to the story. And there's also there's no like full chapters, but sometimes like at the end of chapters, we literally get to hear from the demon essentially, like kind of their thoughts, just in like at the end of chapters. There'll be like a bit in italics. That's the demon talking. Maybe it's a metaphor about how you can kill the trauma, but the way it came back out could be the warning that it's something to be vigilant. Though that's really, I like that as well. I feel like, yeah, I agree that, yeah. Because the demon, I guess, is representative of generational trauma, of course. So, so she absorbs it into herself. But then like it coming back out as like this tiny little thing, is exactly what you said, is a warning that it could very easily come back. Like these patterns could very easily repeat and then just continue the cycle of generational trauma if you're not vigilant about it. I 100% agree with that, Tana. Yeah, I enjoyed that. It also made the book super frustrating, because it's just very realistic. It's just very realistic how these women are, they're growing up and, coming into their own, being mothers, et cetera, careers, all these things in different time periods, and yet they face essentially the same problems. Yeah. I got that feeling too. Oh no, it's not over. But I love the way she just like squashes it too. And it kind of makes you wonder though, is that something that's gonna keep happening to her? Just like occasionally she's gonna, you know, I keep using the word miscarry for lack of a better term, but she just kind of pops out this, little unformed tiny demon that she's gonna have to just squash with her bare hands. I like how it's a nice bookend for the story as well, because if you remember, the book starts off with Alejandra. Sorry, I'm really trying to get the ages in there. um, it starts off with her in the bathroom, bleeding because she's started her period. And so she's like kind of hiding in the bathroom, and the kids are, they're jiggling the door handle trying to get in, like mom, mom, mom. And then her shitty ass husband is, trying to get her to come down and make breakfast or do whatever, and I feel like it was a nice bookend. So like in the beginning, she's sitting, she's on the toilet, she's bleeding, and she's in despair. She's in despair. She loves her children, but she like hates her life up until this point. And as we start to learn, she has been dealing with thoughts of suicide. So she's like powerless in the bathroom at the beginning of this story, and then at the end, it is the same thing that's happening. She's like on the toilet and she's bleeding, but she literally like grabs this little demon and just squishes it and kills it in her hands. So it's like her we get like the full scope of her, like her character arc. I love how I mentioned it. We definitely talk about Matthew because Daisy's about to come in, I think. She heard me getting animated. Oh, no, maybe she didn't. She bypassed me. Okay. We definitely talk about Matthew because Matthew pissed me the fuck off. I had to take frequent breaks reading this book because every time, I'm so glad he goes on like a business trip partway through the book and we don't have to deal with him for like the whole last half of the book because I fucking hated him. Oh, here she comes. Yeah, she hears me. You hear me getting animated? Sorry, Daisy. She's like right outside the door. Honestly, that I don't know if you guys have heard that song on TikTok. That song, it's like by Paris somebody, Labor. I feel like this book, like Matthew, the husband, is like the epitome of that. Just like doesn't do anything, expects Alejandra to do everything, and doesn't understand why she's tired, why she is feeling sad, why she's feeling depressed. And he's the worst. Yes, this. Yeah. Every time I just saw the words Matthew and I'm like, oh God. Hi, Daisy. Every time I got viscerally angry every time I saw his name on the page. Like he was the actual worst. Ooh, I've never hated a character so much, I don't think. And literally, yeah, he breathed and I was like, oh. I think the most satisfying is when Alejandra goes to therapy. So she's like been going to therapy for a little bit. And Matthew comes back from his his business trip or whatever, and she's just like literally not having any of it. Like she's just like calm, cool, and collected, lets it roll off of her back, and he's so bothered. He is so bothered. It was amazing. I was cheering. I was absolutely cheering. Yeah, Daisy also has issues with Matthew. Yes. Don't you, Daisy? Yes, you do. She heard me getting heated. We started talking about Matthew, and I'm like, I hate that man. I hate that man. I kind of wished this was a slightly different book and the demon could have just taken him out. You know what I mean? It wouldn't have done, I think, what the story was supposed to do for Alejandra's character growth if, the demon just like took him out. But I kind of wish there was a Matthew casualty in this book. But I guess just knowing that somewhere in the future of this story she divorces him is, I guess, is going to have to be enough, I suppose. I suppose. Oh, literally got viscerally angry. Can you not do that? Sorry. You can't see her, but Daisy does this thing where she's like right near me and her ears are perked up and she's like staring towards the door as if something is out there, which there isn't. Daisy, hello, there isn't anything, so you can stop looking all alert like that. I hate when she does that. We're talking about a scary generational trauma creature, and I don't need that in the house at the moment. Thank you very much. I feel like we breezed through so much of that book. It's not that long of a book. I feel like it's very straightforward, except maybe that ending. The ending is where it gets, okay, like you can really interpret it. Do you think the curse and the demon led her to Matthew for her source of pain it could feed on? That's a really good question that I hope the rest of the chat answers as well. I don't know. At least from what we know of the demon in the book, I don't know that the demon really did that. I think it more just affected the women down this line, like the way it presented to like us in the like normal world, I guess, was like depression and suicidal thoughts and things like that. That seems like that's what the creature's bag was, like kind of just breaking them down. I don't know. I don't know that the creature did that. I like to think it was maybe more the demon was already working in Alejandra's mind, and so she was feeling like self-doubt and she was self-conscious about herself, and that's what led her to Matthew. So I guess like in a roundabout way, yeah, maybe yes, maybe the demon did do that. Matthew is behind you. She's trying. I wish the fuck he was. This would be a different kind of live stream. Me just beating the shit out of a fictional character. I like that towards the end, Alejandra was like, Matthew, whatever. I'm not gonna do it yet. That was the easiest question to answer on Storygraph, and the little review portion was where it's like, was there character growth or something like that? Yeah, I was like, yes, a resounding yes. Yeah, I guess that's what I was trying to say. Like in a way, the demon was responsible. I think. I don't think it was like directly she like put Matthew in her path, in her life path. But because of her state of mind, because of the demon, yes. Yeah. Yeah, she grew up well, yeah, not necessarily that she grew up without a mom, she just grew up without her mom, but she grew up in that, like, super duper religious, like it's like Catholic, I think, super duper Catholic, foster family because she was given up for adoption that we learn later. Um, yeah. And yeah, exactly. She saw him as like the way she saw him was security just in general, I think financial and everything. Like, she would be set, which I guess technically she was, but it's like that's, obviously not what she wanted to do with her life. I think it contributed to her low self-esteem and loss of self, which maybe yeah. Des said it better. Yes, yeah. Because of her low self-esteem and, low self-worth. That's what led her to Matthew. And then we're not gonna leave Matthew out of this as well. Matthew probably saw Alejandra and she didn't speak up, she didn't like talk back to him or anything like that because of her low self-esteem. And he preyed on her because he's that type of person. So actually, you know what? No, it wasn't the demon's fault at all. It was all Matthew. Matthew preyed on her because he's a piece of shit. I'm blaming it on Matthew. I feel like that. I feel like that should be the tagline for Creepy Book Club. It's like Creepy Book Club. Des always says it better. So well spoken. We love it. Unlike me, where the synapses don't always fire and communicate with my mouth. Matthew is a giant turd. Matthew is an absolute giant turd. Yeah, Matthew, the real antagonist. Not me like defending the demon Loki. Like, yeah, no, the demon had nothing to do with that. It was all Matthew. You had to allow it. Oh, and sorry, and thank you for doing that, Marielle. I am on the StreamYard interface, so I'm not on the YouTube one, so I didn't see that it held it for a second. I didn't add that. That was all YouTube. That's not one of my banned words. So I guess YouTube doesn't like turd. And not even the fun kind of turd. No, he's just a ugh. God, I hate Matthew. Yeah, it's not one of my banned words. I don't know. That's all YouTube. YouTube did that. Well, I don't know why I would ban the word turd, but anything else we have? That's really all we already talked about the ending. I did have a little banner for that, but we jumped right into the deep end on that one. I feel like we mostly covered everything. It's not that long of a book. I mean, it's not, it's very straightforward, I gotta say too. Like, I liked that about it. It didn't, um, there was some obvious like metaphors and things like that going on, but I mean, all told, it's a really straightforward story that I overall enjoyed. I was excited to read something a little longer from V. Castro as well because I'd read Goddess of Filth, but that was a straight up novella. That one was so short. And that was my ultimate takeaway from reading that was that I just wanted something longer. Yeah. The only thing. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Alejandra is bisexual in this as well, so we get a little bit of queer representation there. Which is just again, it's all coming back to Matthew. Just makes it more of a shame that she was with Matthew. This beautiful bisexual woman wasted on such a fucking turd. She could have been with anyone else. I would have been happy with her being with Melanie. That would be fine too, but literally anybody else. Her amazingness was wasted on Matthew. Genuinely. Genuinely. We would really be like that. Not that I forgot about that, but I just got so incensed thinking about Matthew. But yeah, Alejandra is a bi woman. Which was fun. We enjoy that. I like to think somewhere beyond the borders of this book, after she divorces Matthew's dumbass, she gets to be out and proud, because that was another thing too, because she grew up in that like crazy like Catholic home or whatever. She didn't feel like she could be out as well. That was, just on top of the many things that this poor woman has gone through. Just one of the many things. So I like to think that she just gets to be out and proud and do whatever the fuck she wants, because she earned it, honestly. She genuinely earned it. But overall, I liked it. I think I gave this a 4 out of 5. I don't know if anyone else shared their ratings. I know Emiliano did already. I think you said you gave it a 3 out of 5, if I remember. It was like towards the beginning of the stream. Interested what everybody else rated it as well. And if you read anything else from this author, I don't know if Goddess of Filth is not her only one. I think she's got a couple of others, and then there's some like short story ones, I think. Oh yeah, Queen of the Cicadas. Okay, yeah, that's another one I see a lot in book talk. Wish Matthew was a little more interesting. I find that he was a piece of crap, but the way he was written was kind of boring. I mean, he got me fired up, so 5 stars. Yep, 3, 5 stars. Really love this book. I gave it a 4 out of 5. Yeah. I guess maybe the only thing holding me back from giving it a 5, honestly, I think it could have still been a little bit longer. I would have been fine with a couple more chapters, I think. I would have been fine with that. And something happening to Matthew. That would have given it a 5 out of 5. If he died a gruesome death. 5 out of 5. Oh, good. I'm glad I did. Thank you. Glad. I feel like you probably have Marielle to thank for that. Yeah, you probably have Marielle to thank for that. She's always coaching my she's always coaching my pronunciation, and I very much appreciate it. All right, so as we always end after the curse was broken, he should have been turned to dust. Oh, this would have been like a 6 out of 5. Just a chapter added where she kicks Matthew in the garage. Just like almost like a post-credit scene, That's all I needed. Just like a little post-credit where she just kicks him in the balls. That would have been amazing. As we always wrap these up, what else did you guys read this month? I have like a million books started. I did start Our Hideous Progeny. That's what I listened to while I was sitting in traffic going nowhere for an hour around the mall. So I got like 100 pages into that just sitting there for an hour listening. How amazing would post credits be? I'm telling you, that's all that was needed. Just a little post credit where she just like punches him in the throat or something. Would have been great. For real, all I needed to know was Matthew was never able to live happily. I just try and take some satisfaction that he's probably just so butthurt that Alejandra is doing better now, you know? Hang on 1 second. You guys share what you read. Let me just do this real quick. Other people in the house now, so keep the noise away. Oh, you read Girls Like Girls? I started. That's one of the ones I have started. I've not had a good like reading month the past like 2 months. I wonder what you thought. I mean, you put a bunch of hearts, so hopefully that means it was good. Also read How to Sell Haunted Houses on it, honestly. That's fair. That's fair. Fave was A Day of Fallen Night. Ah, you tackled it already. Good for you. Scorched. You read Scorched Grace? I thought Scorched Grace was a lot of fun. I don't read a lot of like amateur sleuth novels, but I really like Sister Holiday. Burn the Negative and Sundown. Man, you really got you got a lot read this month. Good for you. Read The Process by Franz Kafka. Oh, excuse me. And Junji Ito's Uzumaki. Nice. What did you think of Uzumaki? Starting Weight of Blood. Yep. Then she brought it up just in case. A little reminder. This is our current read now for the month of August. The Weight of Blood by Tiffany D. Jackson. Very excited about this. I read Allegedly by Tiffany D. Jackson, and I thought it was amazing, and it traumatized me a little bit. So hoping for the same here. Recently started Silver Nitrate. That's the only thing that sucks about our store relocating is we haven't gotten any new releases. So I've just been waiting for us to get to the new location and then I'll buy my copy. But we didn't get any because we haven't been receiving any new shipments of stuff because we're just trying to sell down. Running Tree. Mexican Gothic is a great one. I really enjoyed that. Lesbian Jesus never fails us. Yeah. Queen of, as of course, you know, Mindy just pulling it out here. Look at all this. Damn. You're a champ. Queen of Teeth by Haley Piper. The Hollow Kind by Andy David. The Hollow Kind. Why does that one sound familiar? Did I read that one? Not great if I did read that one. Then I. Oh no, I have that one on my shelf. Okay. I did read another one by that author though. I can't think of the name. Swan Song by Robert R. McCammon. Dark Corners by Megan Golden. Jeez. Great job. You read a lot. I think it was The Curse of the Spirals. Every time that sentence came up again, I just laughed. But seriously, it's very cool. Though maybe should have ended a bit earlier. The thing with a lot of his bigger works like that is that, you know, I think it's harder to read them almost in that huge collection like that because when they were originally published, they were like, it was, you know, like a serial thing. So like in magazines, they would, you know, just post like a little bit each time. So that like what we all are reading now is just like all of them together. Where it might be cool to see like, you know, this weird little story every month or whatever in whatever magazine. And I've not read any Kafka, so Oh, I did. Oh, I forgot to. I did, as always, I pinned the Google Doc for Creepy Book Club at the top. It should just be chilling at the top of the chat. For anybody to add any notes or anything like that for this month's read when we do our live in a month's time. And you can also see the list of everything else we're going to read for the rest of the year as well. Yeah. Same with same with Tomie, which is like his other big one. That was the way it was originally published. So I feel like reading it all together like that is a little weird. On top of the story already being very bizarre. Just very bizarre anyway. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. All right, I can get rid of that. So we already talked about next month's read. Again, just really quick, our amazing lineup for the rest of the year. I'm always looking forward to Creepy Book Club, but I feel like I'm particularly excited about this group of books right here. Like, I don't know. Even if I have technically a bad reading month, for the rest of the year, all I read are just Creepy Book Club books, I will be happy. Should I read Tomie next, or which one do you all recommend for me to continue with? Tomie's good. I feel like you might run into like a similar issue though, because it was the way it was published. I would recommend maybe hold on, let me get the name of it. Is it Deserter? Yeah. Slightly shorter, but it's actual like short stories, like an anthology, like they're not connected in any way. It's Deserter. Like here, I'll type it. I don't know why. I just feel the need to type it out, but Deserter by Junji Ito. It's like some of his early works, and they're just like short, not interconnected stories, I really like that one, and I feel like you can see the evolution of his like drawing style a little bit as well, which I think is interesting. And they're just short standalone stories. I would definitely recommend that one next. Or if you just want to jump right into Tomie, you do you. I also thought Tomie was great. You got your copy of Mr. Magic. I can't wait. I cannot wait. We have such a great lineup. I don't know how we're going to top this, guys. I really don't. All right, so I'll go ahead and end it there. Thank you guys for hanging out and listening to my little rant to start out, and then listening to my rant later on about Matthew. Okay. I know they're republishing like all of his books, like they're coming out now and all the covers match and everything like that. So hopefully maybe that makes it easier to get in other languages, but hopefully, fingers crossed. Definitely let me know. Let me know which one you read next. I'm interested to know what you think about it. Okay, so I'm gonna sign off. Thank you for another wonderful discussion, and I will see you guys in like a month's time to talk about this awesome Carrie retelling. In case anyone wanted to also read Carrie along with it, not required. Have a good night, you guys, /day, wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you soon. Bye.